He quit. Daniel Dubois, he quit. I am very filled. Usyk just knocked out Daniel Dubois. Let's talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Just watch Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Usyk, he got the stoppage. It was a TKO stoppage in the 9th round. He remains the unified champion of the world. He had the crowd advantage and he retains his titles. Now, in this video, I'm gonna give you guys, like I always do in my post-fight breakdowns, make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is Usyk, you know, he was the favorite. He's the undefeated guy. He's the guy with the belts. He retained his belts and his championship. So he can go towards bigger opportunities. Andy Ruiz and Deontay Wilders and of course Tyson Fury, undisputed, those types of fights. So congratulations to Usyk. It was a solid fight. You know, there were some things that were frustrating, if you will, to me. And that's what I want to get into, the bad and the ugly. Let me start with the ugly. So the ugly was the referee. The ugly was the referee for show, because the referee was, for my liking, he was too involved and he was intervening too much. And my thing is this, I feel like a referee should be like a silent person, like a Casper, and you should almost, they're there to make sure the rules are being followed. I get that. They're there being paid to do a job. I get that. But when it is not warranted or needed, you should almost, as a fan, you shouldn't even know that the referee is there unless absolutely needed. That's how I view the job of the referee. But for this fight with Usyk and Dubois, I knew the referee was there virtually every round because of little stuff that he was doing. So in round 5, Usyk got dropped. They called it, the referee, he has executive decision powers and like the veto power. He said it was a low blow. And this is why boxing should do instant replays, because for real, that should have been a 10-8 round. And I knew it was going to be some BS after that, and that's exactly what happened. So it was a belt line shot. Usyk went down, and he's like grimacing in pain because he got hit with a nice body shot by a bigger guy, Daniel Dubois, and a guy who's a powerful puncher. So that really should have been a 10-8 round. The first angle they showed it was a little bit hard to see because it was from the backside, from Usyk's back, so you couldn't really see the action from the front, pause. But they showed different angles in the telecast, and it was a belt line shot. Even Timothy Bradley, one of the ESPN commentators, said that he believed that that was kind of legal, like it was a fair game type of shot. But the referee allowed Usyk 5 minutes that you get when you get hit low. And let's not beat around the bush. Let's not play any games. I've seen tons of fights. You know, I want to say thousands, millions of fights or whatever. I know when somebody gets hit low and it's a whole different circumstance. Like usually when they get hit, it's like Zab Judah versus Cotto. Zab Judah was getting the best of Cotto, and then Cotto started going low. Or Anthony Peterson versus Brandon Rios, or a fight with Joseph Egbeko versus Abner Mares, and Abner Mares was hitting them low, right? These are 3 amazing and prime examples of true low blow performances where the punches were straying and strafing really low. But this was like a belt line shot. And what I learned from this fight, especially, Usyk just doesn't like the body work. He just doesn't like it to the body. That's what that means. So I didn't like how the referee handled this. The referee was way too involved. And then Usyk took a lot of time, like let's say 4 minutes. And then he's like, all right, I'm good. I'm ready. That should be the end of it. The fighter who allegedly got low blowed is telling you they're ready to continue. And then the referee was like, no, go over there. Go to the corner. Take your time. You still got a minute left. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you didn't get hit low. You get a maximum of 5 minutes. And every boxing thing has a rule. If you get knocked out of the ring, you got like 20 seconds to get back in the ring, right? So if a guy can get back in the ring within 15 seconds, you don't push him back out the ring and say, oh, you got 5 more seconds. I mean, it's literally cut and dry. If the fighter tells you they are good, they're the ones that suffered the alleged low blow. And if they tell you that, then you got to just take that and continue the fight. Plus, you got a bunch of fans in the soccer stadium. They want to see the action, so they're not trying to see these massive delays. But anyway, Usyk complained and complained throughout the fight, specifically when it came to body shots. Daniel Dubois throughout the fight was landing some nice body shots, and it had an impact on Lomachenko, and he would just make these faces and stuff like that as if the punches were strafing really low, but they really weren't. But the referee, another thing I didn't like is he told Daniel Dubois that he's going to get disqualified, as if he was just fighting dirty the whole fight or something like that. The punch in question, really, they should have ran it back like an instant replay, as I mentioned, and it really wasn't low. It was like a belt line shot, which is legal. But threatening Daniel Dubois, I think that kind of got in his head, and then he was worried about, you know, the referee, especially since Usyk throughout the fight after that moment, he kept complaining about punches were low. And you noticed after that moment, throughout the several rounds up leading to the 9th round, Usyk started getting more aggressive, and Daniel Dubois almost was like more tentative, and then he started getting blasted with big shots, rocking his head back and things like that. And then by the 8th round was a pretty bad round for him, and he looked like he was done. And then by the 9th round, he was like mentally checked out. It seemed like oh, I'm just getting beat. So I don't like how Daniel Dubois fought either. I think you have all that size, all that muscle, all that strength, and a lot of the UK fighters, it's like I'm lacking. I'm not seeing the amount of dog. When you see fighters from America, when you see fighters from Mexico and Argentina and stuff, you see a different level of dog. And Dubois is like Anthony Joshua 2.0, where it's like he's big, muscle bound and powerful puncher. And when he's having his way and everything's good, you see the best performance. But when there's a bit of resistance, you got someone like Usyk or whoever that got heart and they're fighting back, Andy Ruiz for Joshua. You see some of these UK British fighters, they don't have that dog mentality almost, and they begin to fold. And that's kind of what I've seen from Daniel Dubois, between the ref kind of siding with Usyk with a lot of the calls and him not getting the 10-8 round, plus Usyk landing like bombs on him in combinations and getting more aggressive, knowing that Daniel Dubois had the power to hurt him. You've seen Dubois kind of like really tuck his tail and just let Usyk get off first and things like that. So it started off as a really good fight, but I don't like all the interaction from the referee, to be honest. So it is what it is. Congratulations to Usyk. I think Daniel Dubois, I truly think he quit again. It's the same thing in the Joe Joyce fight. When the going got tough, then he mentally checked out. And even when he got knocked down, he's like looking up. He looks like he has his wits about him. Like, if a fighter is so badly battered and stuff like that, they can't even think straight. Like, you're separated from your senses. Each time where Dubois' eye was messed up, jacked up with Joe Joyce, and then even in this Usyk fight, it looked like he probably could have continued, but he didn't want to continue because he couldn't figure out the Rubik's Cube. So he just mentally checked out. Tim Bradley also said it. I put it on my Twitter as well in real time. It looked like he quit again. So, I mean, I said this after the Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce fight. I said he quit and I made a video about it. These are my truest thoughts. And some people got mad. Oh, you don't know. He didn't quit, blah, blah, blah. But you know how people say, once a quitter, always a quitter. Once you find that way to mentally check out and not finish when you're able to finish, then I've seen fighters, they get in that similar situation when the going gets tough. They know that's an option for them, as opposed to Floyd Mayweather. When the going got tough, he just got tougher and then relied on his training and his mental fortitude and his resolve to get him beyond those moments. Daniel Dubois found a way out kind of in the Joe Joyce fight, and it's the same thing here. You've seen that with Victor Ortiz as well, like the Maidana fight, the Floyd Mayweather fight where he got two-piece trying to over-apologize, the Collazo fight. So you see certain fighters, they have these gifts and skills and talents, but your talent, what everybody needs to work on strengthening is their mindset. Because if boxing is a tough sport, Usyk even said this to Daniel Dubois, because it sounded like Daniel Dubois post-fight was giving up on himself, and Usyk was like, nah, it's a tough sport. You're young, blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to give him a pep talk. But that's the first thing. Before you strengthen your muscles and biceps and triceps and trapezoid, you know what I mean? Before you do all that and your abs and your calves, you need to strengthen your mindset. And I think there's a lot of UK fighters particularly where that is applicable. Like Joshua, he was used to being the front runner. And then even when Klitschko knocked him down, he almost didn't know what to do for several rounds. When Ruiz started fighting back and got up from the knockdown, he couldn't just easily finish him. He started losing every moment of that round. Over time, after the knockdown / low blow thing happened with Usyk, Daniel Dubois just slowly but surely, and Usyk, respect to him, he does have a lot of dog, and he has, he's fighting bigger guys and stuff like that, and he's just meaner. And that's one thing I tweeted, Daniel Dubois got to be meaner. But it is what it is. That's my thoughts, my breakdown. Congratulations, Usyk. I don't know where Daniel Dubois goes from here. You had all that size, big for nothing. And then you hurt him, I think, throughout the fight, but you didn't, you got in your head too much or whatever the case was, and you didn't believe in yourself and you let the smaller person kind of dog you. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out.